Yo, what up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. It's a Monday, the 29th, close to Halloween. Halloween! Spooky times! What's going on? This is Let There Be Talk, a brand new episode, and incredible guest today. Great band. You know how I love All Them Witches. If you've been listening to my show over the last few years, I'm always shouting out this incredible Nashville band. And today, two members stopped by, Parks and Robby, both in the studio today, live at the Comedy Store. I did this one in the Comedy Store podcast studio to get some extra mojo, some extra special chemistry of the Comedy Store. Anyway, it's going to be a great episode. You guys are going to love it. They got a brand new record out, and they start on their tour today of the West Coast, I believe. You can catch them at the Echoplex, I think they're playing at, or Echo, one of those two. Go to allthemwitches.org and find out where they're playing and get their brand new record wherever you're streaming your stuff or get vinyl. You know what I'm saying? Brand new record out right now, just entitled ATW. Came out in September. It's Smoker. And a couple of my favorite All Them Witches records would be Lightning at the Door and Sleeping Through the War. And then, of course, the new one. So lots to choose from if you're new to this band, which is always cool. If you like a band, you're like, holy shit, they got 5 records. Cool. They just announced they're going 3-piece too today, which is going to be interesting because they had keyboards for a long time. The band consisted basically of one guitar, one bass lead vocal, drums, and keyboards, and now there will be no keyboards, which is, I've got to admit, I'm sad about. I love the keyboard aspect of this band, always giving it a cool, dark sound, but we'll see what happens. Carry on. I don't know what happened there, but I do know that it is hard to keep adults in a rock and roll band in this climate of touring. If you got family or girlfriends or kids or anything, or even pets, and you're gone for long extended times, it could get rough. I don't know what happened, but I can only imagine. Anyway, before I do get to the episode, just want to give a quick couple announcements. I am in New York City. I will be at the Frantic free show tonight. That's the Stands pop-up shows. And Thursday night, I will be at the Comedy Cellar. Some great shows this week. What else is happening? Want to give a shout out to the Patreoners. A lot of new Patreoners out there. Thank you. I've been doing these bonus episodes, and I hope you guys do enjoy them. And you can get one by donating $5 or more a month to the Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. And big love out to Jordan Miner, Simon Blowen. That's a crazy last name there. I'm not sure. And then Hero Jr. up there, donation. Thank you, Hero Jr. Great band. So, yeah, thank you for the donations. I saw a couple people dropped off. Must have not liked the bonus episodes. Yeah, I take it personal. Upcoming shows, Las Vegas. I will be at the Comedy Cellar in Rio, December 26th through the 30th. Other than that, I will be in New York for a long, extended time right now, digging in and doing some spots all over the city. I want to plug a couple of the sponsors here. We've got some great sponsors, and I think you guys will enjoy these discounts you're about to receive. Look, man, you losing your hair? I don't know why people are always like afraid to talk about that. You know what I mean? It's like some dark shame thing. Oh God, I'm losing my hair. I don't want anyone to talk about it. Do something about it, man. Up your confidence. It's time to make a change. Go to hairclub.com/Delray. It's time to get that hair together right here. They understand the emotions you're feeling and know your questions you have. Hair Club is the leader in total hair solutions with a legacy of over 40 years. These guys have been helping people out. Go to hairclub.com/Delray today for a free hair analysis and a free take-home hair kit, all valued over $300. That's pretty cool, right? Hairclub.com/Delray for your free analysis and free hair care kit. Experience your hair and your life at its best, only with Hair Club. I'm certain you'll love Hair Club. Get down into it right now. No use, walking around, without your confidence. Get it on with hairclub.com/Delray, Delray. Hair Club is the leading total hair solution with a legacy of success for over 40 years, man. They know what they're doing. Get it. One more time. Hairclub.com/Delray today and get your free $300 hair kit. All right, that's a pretty cool offer for you guys. Also, I've been using CBD oil, and this is the truth, man. I was getting some joint pain about a month ago. For real, like my knees were hurting, my ankles, and my wrists. And I don't know if it was like, especially when I was flying. I don't know what that's about. I guess you just swell up in the plane as you get older. But, and also a lot of walking around New York. I was getting a lot of joint pain, and I go to the gym a lot. And now I'm rocking this Apex hemp oil. Apex hemp oil is just awesome, man. It is 100% cold pressed. You're going to love it. CBD hemp oil. I'm on that. I use the Apex sports cream. I use the soap, and I also use the beard oil. They got beard oil and hemp lotion. My whole body's CBD. If this stuff's good for you, it turns out that it's the next level, next coming of Christ or whatever. I'm going to be living to be 900 because I'm all over this. I'm CBD City from Apex. Use the code. This is carefully, you want to get 20% off on this, and I'm not kidding. People ask me, does the CBD oil work? And it really does, man, for me. I've been digging it. I'm going to give you the code right now. Use the code BUDO20. That's the number 20. BUDO20 at the checkout and get 20% off. Go to the website, apexhempoil.com. That's APEXHEMPOIL.com. Apex Hemp Oil. Some great sponsors right there. And keeping the moving parts clean, keeping the motor running here at Let There Be Talk. I guess that's about it here. We're going to get into the guest, and I just want to keep thanking you guys all for listening to this podcast. It means a lot to me. And use these products that I advertise. I do love all my sponsors. I only try to use the sponsors that I think are great, and I believe in them. So one last thing, just got home from Phoenix, and I got to tell you, the All Things Comedy Festival was unbelievable. I'm going to give a shout out to All Things Comedy and all the venues involved, Stand Up Live, Tempe Improv, the Renaissance Hotel, everybody out there, just amazing. Copper Blues, amazing food at Copper Blues, and everybody out there. The Zanies crew from Nashville that were there. Lucy was there, and all those guys, and just a great weekend. And thank you, Bill Burr, for everything you do, and the entire year of great shows with you. Go see Bill Burr November 7th at the Madison Square Garden, everyone. Do not sleep on that. I don't care where you live. Fly in and see Burr at the Garden. It's going to be unbelievable. All right, let's get into the episode right now. Here it is right here. Brand new rock and roll brought to you by All Them Witches. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let Me Talk. This is a special episode here. It's coming to you live from the Comedy Store in Los Angeles today. Incredible guest. Introduce yourself, guys.
This is Robby from All Them Witches.
Hi, and this is Parks from All Them Witches as well.
You guys don't have last names.
Parks is my last name.
It is?
Yeah.
Just straight.
Yeah. Last name Staebler.
Yeah, all right.
First name, Money.
Yeah.
God, so good to have you guys on because a couple years ago on this record here at the
Surfer.
Sleeping Through the War, that tour.
Oh, was that tour that things got
the Roxy?
mucked up?
You guys were playing the Roxy?
We did the Roxy twice.
Yeah. Sleeping Through the War was the one.
Oh.
That's 2 years ago, right?
No, it was the other one. It was Dying Surfer. Because we didn't have a tour manager and management situation was weird. But we stood you up on accident.
You so many times. We had no idea.
I was like, these guys are on fucking drugs.
No.
It was hilarious.
It wasn't us.
No, we just
I was
had
so
no
glad
idea.
I met you guys at the Primus tour. I'm going to set it up. Here's what happens. Love this band, All Them Witches. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is great. They're coming to town. I'm going to set it up. I email someone. They get back to me. Yep, got you all set up. Cool. They're going to do it before sound check at the Roxy. So I go, cool. I ride my motorcycle up there, park out front, trying to get in. No one's around. I'm emailing. Oh, there's going to be a change. It's going to be after sound check. Okay, so I go eat next door at the Rainbow. I'm waiting for a few hours. Then they go, it's going to be after the show. So I watch the show. Man. And then the guy hits me and goes, it's going to be tomorrow. Oh, I'm like, dude. What the fuck? I'm steaming. Like, what is going on here? I got shit to do.
Assholes. You know? Such assholes.
And then the next day, ghosted. Nothing.
God.
Sorry, man.
That was...
yeah, it's all
that
good,
was
though.
coming from a different place. That wasn't us.
Yeah, it was great, though, because I'm the type of person, like, I was steaming, but I was like, oh, fucking. And then the whole time I was like, this band needs some fucking press.
So
Dude,
true.
yeah, we don't,
So true.
We need all the press we can get. So,
yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for giving us a second chance.
Oh, well, once I met you guys at Coney Island, opening for Primus, I explained to you, and then you were immediately like, "Oh, that wasn't us. Fuck, man." You know.
Yeah, we even looked at the emails. Like, oh, this sucks. Reading it, I was like sweating a little bit. I was like,
yeah. I was reading you the emails. Yeah. That was
like, actually, I have them right here, and immediately, like the whole thread.
What a dick move I did, right?
Playing that
actually,
shit.
Look at you, fucking guy.
No, that's actually better. Just get it out there, so we're not like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened to this?
It's so true because when you interview a lot of bands later on in life, they find out like, well, it turns out our A&R guy was fucking doing blow the whole time, whatever. And you never know. Bands never know what happens behind their careers, unless it's going good. Then they go, oh, I see what's happening. It's going good. But when it's going bad, you don't know why. And it could be all kinds of bullshit, ball dropping and all that. That's why I'm constantly handling my own career until someone big steps up. Because when someone big steps up, you hope they have the proper machines to get it into the channels, But until then, you always get somebody. They go, I love you. I want to help your band. And then 2 weeks later, they're nowhere.
Those people don't help the band.
They really don't, because what happens
cleaning
is
up their mess.
Yeah, you're like. Yeah. But it was great to finally meet you guys, and I've seen you guys live now, I think, 3 or 4 times. And I found out about the band. It was weird because I found out about the band, it seems, right in this era of when everyone had a witch band. It was L.A. Witch,
Yeah.
We know them.
Yeah, they're great.
They're great.
All Them Witches. And then there's Witch.
There's Witch, and there's Witch Mountain and Black Witch Mothers. And like,
Witch Mountain, another great fucking band. So I was like, how many witch bands?
It's too many. We just signed on for the wrong name. We tried to change it a few times, but we could never pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. How did you come up with the name? I usually don't ask this generic question, but I did want to know because of, the origin of witch. Because your band has nothing to do with any kind of demon music.
You should see the emails we get about that stuff, dude. I'm going to read you one.
Yeah, please do.
But I'll get to So the band name, Ben came up with it. Well, he didn't come up with it because he saw it in that movie, Rosemary's Baby. There's a book.
Love that movie. So
all
weird.
Of Them Witches. So when I met Ben, we were like, well, what are we going to call this? Because we had just been recording some stuff. He's like, I've always wanted to call a band All Them Witches. I was like, cool. That's it. I don't have to think about it. You've already figured it out. Dude, I'm going to find this email because this is one of the fun.
Now, you guys are from Austin?
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah, but we're not, like, none of us are from there.
Are you living in Nashville?
I moved to Nashville in 2008.
I love this city, by the way, Nashville. It's fucking knocking me out. If I didn't do comedy, I'd probably live there. I mean, I know some comedians that live there, and they can do it now.
What's the one there? Zany's?
Yeah, Zany's great. And I did the Ryman, that little club called the Ryman.
Just a little.
With Burr this year, which is
right next to the spring water.
So prestigious, that place, man. The Ryman. But that whole little area, and you know, the last time I was in Nashville, I played Exit In. Is that it there?
Yeah.
And that was when I was playing music back in 06. And I loved Nashville then, and I loved it even more this time around. It just had something great. Other than those garbage, what are those called? Bachelorette parties. Oh my God.
That's so funny. It's such a stereotype now.
It's the number one bachelorette destination in the world. And when I heard that, I was like, if somebody said to me, like, oh, Becky's getting married, where do you want to have your bachelorette party? Vegas? Oh, Vegas is so no. It's all about Nashville. You're like, what?
Dude, then they just get on those, like...
pedal bikes.
Yeah, the pedal bars.
taverns.
And just go, like, in a 1 mile square radius.
It's so weird. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
But then you see them start competing because there'll be like 5 or 6 on the strip. And
Yeah.
they're all going to different bars and like, oh, those bitches are getting like, no, we got to go in here. And it's just like penis balloons and like all kinds of litter
It's
afterwards.
so nuts. In the middle of this, in the middle of this country western mecca of like all those great clubs right there, you know, the best strip of music going on, and then you just got like, let's get dick. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's how we met. We worked on the Broadway at this horrible trinket store that sold like fake hippie stuff. It was.
How long ago?
That was 6 years ago.
What? Yeah.
And you guys both worked at the same store?
I worked at this place. It was in the mall. And then they opened one up downtown, and I went down there, and then the mall flooded. We had that big Nashville flood that just like wrecked the whole city. And then, through mutual friend, I don't know, Robby met somebody I knew on the other side of the country, and then moved to Nashville, and then started working at that store. And then, that's how we met. I didn't like him at first.
Somebody was telling me about you, like, oh, you're gonna like this guy Parks. He's a good singer, and blah blah blah. And then.
Now, both of you, did you end up in Nashville because of country music? Did you have a fan of that where you're going to be, you know, like songwriters? I know a lot of people move out there like, yeah, I want to be a songwriter out there. Or were you into country music? Because your music is not country.
No, I wasn't exactly. I lived in New Mexico before I moved to Tennessee.
Oh, you made a wise choice.
Yeah. I actually I miss New Mexico a lot.
Yeah, it's a good place.
Which part?
The northwest corner, Farmington.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah. So the high desert is beautiful, but I went to high school out there. I grew up in Louisiana, and I moved to New Mexico and whatever. And I had a band in high school, and we just wanted to get out of Dodge, you know, whenever we graduated. So we all moved to Nashville together to pursue music. With that dream, like, oh, it's a country town. Nobody does rock and roll there. And like how wrong everybody is.
Yeah, that
as
was
soon as
my
they get
idea
there.
too.
Yeah,
I'm from Ohio. I moved out to Oregon for a short time, and then there was a guy.
Portland?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was living in people's garages, and
great city.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite places. But I met some guy when I was in Nashville. It was like my first stop when I moved out of Ohio, and he was like, yeah, man, I need a drummer. You can, I got this house. You come live with me. And I was like, all right, yeah, sure. So I was tired of sleeping in this dude's garage. I moved all my stuff to Nashville. Set up I had a full band, like, equipment in my trailer, and set it all up, and this dude kicked me out of his house after, like, 3 days of staying there. He was doing a bunch of cocaine, and he was just, like, a rich kid. His parents just, like, bought him all of his shit, and he wouldn't let my dog in the house, which I was really pissed about, and so it's a good thing he kicked me out. We never even played music once, and then...
Straight to Nashville?
Yeah, lived in my car for a little bit, and ended up getting the job with Parks, and met Ben before I met Parks. The first record was literally just like me playing drums and then Ben making up the shit over top of it. And then Parks came in like halfway through that process, and then it all started from there. So
What are the ground zeros? And I want to get to this email because I know you found it. But what were the ground zeros as you guys are working together at this shit store? What bands are you throwing out to each other? Like, yeah, man, I'm really into like, I mean, because there is some flavor of like some, you know, some of the early stuff was kind of Caius, of course, and desert, you know, kind of desert rock and stuff. That was obviously the nucleus of the beginning of the band, right?
Yeah, Ben was actually he was messing around a lot with like the stoner rock, air quotes, kind of thing, and I don't even know. I don't remember like sharing music.
We
We
really
just started
didn't.
playing. It's always been
Yeah.
kind of our relationship. Is we didn't start out being like, oh, I really love this band. I love this band. We should play music like
Right.
this. It's just they had some songs and I came in and started playing, and then we just went from there.
yeah, I was listening to.
What was your flavor coming from a Mark Sandman of Morphine or what? Because to me, there's a lot of morphine in this band. You know
Who
that?
likes Morphine? I've never really listened to Morphine.
Wow, that's so wild.
I've heard some of it, and it's pretty cool, but I've never like really dove into it. But Ben's into that.
Yeah.
One of the
The
guys.
the sax player from Morphine. He was going to play on one of the records.
Incredible band. Incredible band. Saw them, opened for them a week before the guy passed away at Slim's in San Francisco. But it was such a unique band, and it's a lot like your band. I mean, they had the sax, and that was really one of the driving sounds of the band. But it also just kind of, it was heavy, but it wasn't your obvious heavy of like, you know, like Sleep. It's not like Sleep, super fuzz, and here's heavy, but it was heavy as fuck. You're like, man, how did this band get so heavy with like, you know, sax and the voices, you know, I saw the girl in the back of the room. It had this really, you know.
Well, the saxophone dude was interested in playing on a record. Ben was trying to coordinate all this. And so he sent me some videos. He's like, check this guy out, man. This is badass stuff. And I'd never heard of him.
Yeah.
So I did some digging, watched some videos. But yeah, I mean, you're describing that stuff like spot on. You can't really put your finger on it. But
And that's what makes heavy, like real heavy music is like music and art in general is like, it's unassuming, you know? It can be like simple and blow you away, or it can be like completely chaotic and blow you away. And then I don't know, like what's the definition of heavy? Like how does that make somebody feel?
Yeah. I believe that because heavy is, you know, I've seen band, like your band to me is heavy, but it also has other flavor, especially on the new record. There's some Dead in there. Mm-hmm. There's some No Quarter. There's definitely an ode to No Quarter there.
Yep.
And that one song is almost just a beautiful kind of outro jam, Deady style, you know?
Harvest Feast, yeah.
Well, yeah, Harvest Feast, which I love about your band. Each record, 100% different, which is amazing because
well, I'm glad that you think that.
Well, it's definitely that. I mean, because if it was the same by now, I would have been burnt on it. You know, the initial sound was kind of heavy and desert soundy and stoner, and that's what drew me in. Mm-hmm. But there was a time where there was just, oh, another fucking desert band? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after a while, you're like, I get it. You got the orange amps, you got the curly chord, and here comes the stoner rock.
The curly chord.
And you guys turned, and I was like, yes. By the time the next record comes out, I go, oh, this is totally different, you know, and amazing.
Yeah, we can't sit with the same sound. And I feel like all of the songs over the course of all of the records feel like our band, right?
Oh,
they're our songs.
totally.
But yeah, it's like the style is never...
Well,
it's
your
always
vocals
changing.
give the thread, which is great.
Oh, thanks.
No, but I'm saying that gives it the thread because it definitely, the music can go anywhere, but your vibe and your voice and everything, it's never like, oh, well, this isn't all them witches. That you know, what is that? You know what I mean? It's, to me, it's especially the new record. He sent it over to me a couple months ago. And I gave it a pass through, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't even be listening to this right now because I need to be in the right frame of mind to take it all in because it's totally different than the last record. Yeah. So I don't want to just sit there and listen to it on a plane and go, yeah. So when I finally sat down with it, I was like, wow, this is way different. Mm-hmm. Now, the guitar player produced this one, right?
Yeah.
And what did that bring to the table so to make it different than the other records?
So much less stress.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
like it's just like when you start out as a band and you're like cutting demos and stuff, and you have complete say, and there's no time limit. We actually got out of the studio a day early than what we booked it for because everything was so relaxed and easy.
Wow.
Like we cut all the songs, and it was Ben and his cousin Grant that produced it all, and you know he's just a wizard. Ben's he's into the recording. He's the one that's into the recording, and I have no idea about any of that
Yeah.
stuff,
I have no
microphones
idea
or
either.
anything.
It's great when you have a guy like that can fucking zig around in the studio and not stall out.
Yeah.
The record really feels like a blues record, though, to me.
We talked about making a blues record for a long time. And
Yeah.
that's obviously like one of our big influences, like where I grew up and where Ben grew up and like what we've all listened to growing.
What do you guys listen to?
Oh man, all kinds of stuff.
Robby and I both really like new age ambient music, like weird Private Issue, like I don't know, like no non-linear, like
Just pleasant sound.
repetitive.
Honestly.
Yeah.
There's this composer. I think he lives in Los Angeles. His name's William Basinski.
Right?
yeah, amazing.
Incredible. He does all this stuff with these like 1/4-inch tape loops. My brother showed me him a few years ago, and I just haven't been able to put it down. Like, I'm constantly working on something, and I love music, but I can't listen to like raging music and a bunch of shit with lyrics while I'm working on stuff because I just get distracted. So there's also this other band, Borin and Der Club of Gore.
Yeah.
they're
It's
awesome.
like if doom metal was the slowest jazz you could make.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Wow.
They have a bunch of
Yeah.
records too, man.
And where are they from?
I think they're from Germany.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm not.
Borin and Der Club of Gore.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where they're from, but pretty
But
sure.
what about early on? What were you guys listening to? Like you guys are hanging in Nashville and you're putting together the nucleus of the band. Were you obviously like, yeah, let's be a stoner rock band at first, and then
Well, how it started, it was funny. I was listening to a shitload of Sun Ra.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like just like some far out jazz stuff and a bunch of Bill Frisell, this drummer Dak Dejanet, I think I said his name right. So that's how we started. Like I was talking to Ben, I was like, dude, let's make a jazz thing. Like let's make some weird jazz. And we did it for like a day, and we're like, dude, we suck as a jazz band. I was like, do you like heavy music? And he's like, he just started shredding like some heavy riffs, and I was like, oh, this is easy, this is fun, like you don't have to think about it. So that's kind of how it turned in like a day from us trying to do some jazzy things to
so
rock
was
and
it
roll.
just
But we were-
guitar and drums at the beginning?
Yeah, for like maybe a couple of months or a few months or something, we just had like this little 4-track Tascam digital recorder, and I just recorded drums by myself and just kind of like pieced it together. And yeah, but I was listening to a lot of Zeppelin, a lot of probably Sleep. This band Ohm, which is like a couple of the guys
yeah.
from Sleep.
Absolutely.
They're incredible.
How great is Sleep, man?
They're pretty sick.
I mean, to drop a record after like 13 years, don't even tell anyone, nothing. It's record store day. That particular day, I was in Nashville doing shows, and Steve Gorman and I were at Third Man, and they go, oh, the new Sleep came out today. And I was like, what? I just happened to be there.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea.
It's not a live thing, is it? Or is it studio?
No, man, it's studio.
Okay.
And they just fucking didn't tell anyone and just dropped it on Record Store Day this year. And I think it's sold over 100,000 on vinyl. Like
See, that's the way to do it, though. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't need promotion. They didn't
Zero
need to,
promo.
They
All
didn't need to, like,
Mystique.
amp it up and everything.
Yeah. And I mean, the fucking band is bigger than ever right now. You know?
Oh yeah, they're. If you watch videos from them back in the day, they're just like nobody watching them. Those guys are just super young, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was a substitute. Well, I went to school to be a teacher, an art teacher. I got an art teaching gig that didn't work out. I ended up substituting for like 2 years. And Dragonaut was the song I would blast in my truck like every day, like leaving the preschool from like substituting. And there's like crank Dragonaut in the parking lot, lunch breaks, and like leaving. I was like, ah, man, I hate substituting, but I love this music. It makes me feel good.
I also like bands like that they're not, you know, like a lot of people see a lot of heavier bands as like meatheads or whatever, but those guys have like
Right.
They're-
Art side,
they're-
full
they're-
blown.
they're merch game also to me is like I like seeing people's work ethics. It's like that's why I like the Dead. I don't like all of the Dead's catalog.
Yeah.
But listening to what they were about and how they ran their business is like those guys weren't pushovers. They weren't like dumb hippies.
Nope.
They were like insanely tough, insanely talented, knew exactly what they wanted and didn't take no for an answer. You know, and like Sleep, they mail their merch to every venue and like get it so they don't have to take it with them. They don't want any more stress, so they just sell out of everything every night.
That's the best.
And throw away their boxes.
Yeah.
And like that's incredible.
I got a new way of doing merch. You bring one shirt to all the gigs and you let them see it, and then you just got a guy in the booth with the square, and he's just swiping the card, and he goes, "The shirt will be at your house on Wednesday." Zero carrying of merch.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people go, well, you're risking losing sales. And it's like, you know, because people like to buy it right there on the spot. But I look at it as like, now I'm not carrying merch because I'm a one-man show.
Sure.
And now I'm not carrying anything, getting charged by airlines for extra packages and stuff. And most people will buy it. You know what I mean? And then it'll be at their house like Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's
That's
just
pretty cool.
It's really good with vinyl because vinyl weighs so much.
Yeah, vinyl's the worst thing to take
It's
around.
the worst.
It's the worst,
dude.
It is the worst.
And then it gets damaged all the time.
Ah.
Yeah, and everybody wants it, and like you try to fly with it, and it's impossible. And if it's hot, you still have to leave it in the trailer because you live in your van. And
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it's just sad.
terrible.
It's a nightmare, and that's all that's selling is vinyl.
I mean, that's what I buy. I buy vinyl.
That's what I buy.
You know, taking it around to
Yeah.
every show and unloading it and loading it back up and unloading it is just
with
it's for the birds.
with the Dead. Did you guys all have a common ground on the Dead? Because I didn't like the Dead until I don't know, maybe 10 years ago.
I didn't.
I always had Working Man's Dead, but I wasn't a deadhead, and now I'm a deadhead.
Well, same here. I didn't get into it till after high school. Like I would see kids in my high school wearing all this Grateful Dead gear, and I was like, man, that's got to be the most insane music. But I was like kind of sheltered, so I didn't have access to that. You know, you couldn't just get online and find stuff and stream things. But then once I got into it, I was like, this is nothing like I imagined it would be, based on like the Steal Your Face logo and like all that spacey shit.
Oh yeah, you think it's like metal or something when you see the logo at first.
But then I just kept listening to it, and it's amazing.
What's really amazing about the Dead, I think it's better when you find them now. Because there's so many rabbit holes.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like,
I don't even know what I'm listening to. I just play it. I have no idea where it's coming from.
Yeah. So what's cool about the Dead, and I bring it back to your band, is your records are different. So eventually, as you do more records, it'd be like, well, the early All Them Witches, they were kind of like, stoner rock. But now you got a blues record out, which is just incredible. Like, as I was listening to it, I was like, the balls to make a blues record. Right now, like who's, no one's doing that to do a blues record.
because like what is blues these days except for like the typical, I don't know what what you would think of as like what I think of as blues is like one guy and a guitar and a scratchy recording like from the middle of nowhere, and then like what blues is today is just over commercialized, just like stealing that. So it's like easier for me to think of blues music as a feeling and take it because our songs aren't really like blue. They're not blues.
Yeah, they're
songs,
not like
but they are blues songs.
Yeah, they're not like gonna go down, right. But it's that feeling, And there's been some people that have done it amazing. I think Beck being one of them, who was amazing, kind of taking a Dylan blues-esque shitty acoustic guitar with some slide and stuff and having these amazing hooks and stuff. Yeah. And then you can get into the two-man stuff of like, Jack White and all that stuff. That's a form of blues. He's
put out some insane records.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, that guy. Has he ever seen you guys?
I have no idea.
Me and Ben got kicked out of his building once. The Third Man Records.
Yeah.
I didn't know
this
that.
was right when we started hanging out and whatever. We were just cruising around. We're like, oh, there's Third Man. I was like, oh, man, there's a ton of people there. Like, let's go in there. It turns out it was like this private charter thing.
Yeah.
And there's like fucking discs and files all over these desks. And we're like looking at all these demos people are dropping off and flipping through stuff. And Ben goes up to this lady and he's like, "What are all these people doing in that conference room?" And she looks at us and she immediately doesn't even say anything. She gets on her radio. She's like, "Get security in here." And then security came out and was like, just took us. Like, "You're gone." I don't know if he's ever seen us. I doubt it.
I mean, it seems like a band that he would love. Like, they do those live at Third Man.
Yeah.
If you guys went in and did a live at Third Man, because your live show is pretty fucking phenomenal.
It's way better than the records.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Is the live show for us.
Weaving that's like having different albums all the time is fun because you get to put all these different kinds of songs together, and they always change. Like, we have a standard way of playing songs. Some of the songs stay pretty similar, but some of them we just give space to, meld into other songs slower or faster.
Absolutely.
So we leave some improv.
I mean, you guys do
there.
some jamming.
Oh,
Yeah. It's fun.
like half improv.
Yeah.
I'd say, for
I think it's the only way to keep yourself, your brain into the game when you're out on the road, because it gets so monotonous. You're out there like, I always say that I don't go see bands anymore if they do the same set list the whole tour, or they're, I just don't have any interest in that anymore. I'm more looking at bands that are like pushing the envelope of like, let's see where this goes. We know what the blueprint of the set list is, but let's go all over. And that's how I look at comedy with me too. I used to lay out, and I probably suffer from it because, when you go to shoot a special, you need to know kind of the order, but there's something so organic of like, let's see where this fucking goes. And as I saw you guys a few different nights, it was just great to see where you guys would take it,
Well, I think about, because there's people that come to multiple shows throughout the tour, and I'm just thinking, if I was them and I was coming to the show, I'd be bummed out. Like, if I go see you 2 nights in a row and it's the exact same show.
The worst.
Like, what's the point,
And I hate that excuse of, lighting cues and pyro and stuff. It's like, nah, man. I mean, aren't you going crazy yourself out there? Like, oh, all right. By the fourth song, you're like, this is just, are we in Cincinnati? Are we in Texas? Where are we? It's the same set list, everything,
Well, honestly, the point about being a musician is like the best point for me about being a musician is getting on stage and actually physically playing.
That's the best. That's the only thing.
And some bands, they kill themselves and they drive a wedge in between their friendships and their relationships because they practice. They want to get things perfect, and I can't stand perfect. you know? So like our records aren't perfect, and usually by a year after we release a record, the songs don't even sound the same live as they do on the album, and I really enjoy that chance to see our art forms grow, and still not want to kill each other. It's like, oh, you messed up on the third verse of that song. It's like, well, yeah, we mess up every night, all the time, constantly.
Yeah,
and that's fun.
Also, a year from now, you don't even remember what the mistakes were in the studio. Isn't that hilarious? Like, I go back and listen to a couple of my records. I'm like, yeah, this is good. Yeah. And I'm sure there was something I was micromanaging at the time in the studio. Like, man, that note is just flat, man. Let's get this note, God damn it. Oh, the tempo's slow. You're slowing down here. And then you forget all about it. And when you listen to some of your favorite records, man, like The Doors or anything, there's all kinds of mistakes that they know and none of us would know.
Well, there's all kinds of our songs, like some of the stuff that's made the record made the record because it was a mistake. It was like, that's actually pretty sweet. Like, let's just leave that in there. You can't be married to the way you record the song. Otherwise, you're just going to be battling the whole time.
Absolutely.
So playing it different every night it's relaxing, it's exciting, and
it keeps you alive.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because
once you come in, they're kind of recording and shit, and then you come. Does he hit you at work like, hey, you want to come down and jam? How does this happen?
He's like, hey, I found this guitar player at this bar, and we've been making music for a couple of months, and he showed it to me on his phone or on an iPod or something.
There's a cassette tape.
Yeah. And
you hipsters with your cassettes.
Yeah, that's all I have.
I know. Yeah, Tascam. I love it. Fostex, Tascam, those cassettes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he played it for you. And
he said that they were looking for a bass player, and I had just
and no vocals on it.
Ben was singing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Ben sang most of the songs on that first album. That wasn't me.
Wow.
And
because I never saw the band live on the first record.
Right.
I didn't see. I don't think we did. We didn't start touring until after the first. after the second record.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and by that point, we weren't even really... There was like 1 or 2 songs off that record that we would play. A lot of the songs on the record we've never even played.
Yeah, the first one. We just have never done them live. It's because we weren't really a band like for the first one.
Just a studio thing?
We were just finding each other and like meeting each other. And so by the second album, it's like, oh, we're actually a band, kind of have a direction, kind of want to do it this way.
And then when do you like say, hey, I kind of sing? And then
it was for... I wrote a song at work or... Oh, no, I was in the shower. You know, when you get like each strike of inspiration, and ran out of the shower and wrote down this song, and I showed it to Robby at work. I don't know. I think I just said that I wrote a song.
You like read it to me or something.
And
tried to explain how it would sound. I was like, dude, I can't imagine sound.
Yeah, and so I just, I think that next practice I showed everybody, and then Ben came up not long after that and said, it's like, hey, man, I don't want to sing. I just want to play guitar. And
wow.
I really didn't want to sing either because I had been a frontman before in a different band, and I was just like, I really just kind of want to play bass and lay back and not sing. But I can't imagine doing it now without singing. It's like that's my spot, and like nobody can take that away from.
I mean, it makes the band so unique, the sound, and your voice is like, it's not the standard voice, you know, which is great. What were some of the singers that you loved?
Man, let's see. I really love... I've been listening to like Heart a lot recently.
Oh man,
like Ann Wilson.
I just had Nancy on.
You just had Nancy on?
Last week, man. That fucking band. And it's funny because if you listen to early... A lot of people think Greta Van Fleet, that EP, sounds like Zeppelin. I'm like, you guys don't even know. This is Heart all day long.
Yeah,
you know?
I love Ann's voice. I mean,
she's incredible.
Like just that video Barracuda, and like seeing them all play live, and they have perfect mic control, and the harmonies are insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I grew up listening to like blues guys, Skip James, Leadbelly, Abner J, like all of those guys, and I don't know. I like all kinds of music. I really like religious music.
Yeah.
Because when you hear somebody sing about God, it's like they're putting their whole heart into it, you know, whatever God that is. And so there's like insane vocals, like religious vocals from all over the world. And so I really love that, like Tuvan throat singing and it's just incredible if they're not doing it for any sort of fame or praise or anything.
Oh, they're doing it for the soul.
Right. They're doing
to cleanse the soul.
You know what shape singing is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, shape singing is like you sit facing each other.
Yeah.
And like the conductor is in the middle. And it's like it's not for an audience. You're singing to each other for the love of singing. I really love that too.
Now once he sings, you guys are like, oh well, this is on now with this complete change.
I mean, that's how it was for me when he started. I was like, holy shit, man, this guy's like really good.
Yeah.
And like, so going back to like the bass thing, he said he played bass, but apparently he didn't play bass.
I didn't play bass that much.
You just said that to get in a band?
Well, I had a bass, and I played bass when I was younger, but I had been playing guitar in a different band, and I had never played bass for any sort of band. And I always wanted to be a guitar player, but lacked the enthusiasm to practice.
Well, you play bass like guitar.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the in-between is I played my bass like a guitar.
And your a lot of things about you are unique. I always wanted to talk to you about your kind of Rickenbacker looking bass. Was that a Rick that was cut off?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if like somebody just like made that to look like a Rick and they cut off the sides, but
people get so mad at him.
Yeah.
I get like all kinds of weird
Explain
comments.
your instrument. So he plays like the Cliff Burton famous. I always consider it the Cliff Burton, but you can consider it Yes, or you can consider it Wings era of Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
A Rick is very much a unique bass. And when people play it, it's usually somebody that's really serious about bass. They're usually a bass nerd. And, I know this guy that played one in the Mother Hips, and it was he was such a nerd that his had the inlay from a later era, and he's like, the inlay is wrong. I must change the inlay.
That's why people hate you for that.
Yeah. So yours is, did you cut yours off? You cut the shape off.
So Robby and I, we were in a music store in Nashville called Fanny's House of Music, and I was playing an old Schecter before this, and we were snooping around, and I just saw this bass like in a corner of the music store, and it already had the horn cut off.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Somebody.
it already looked all chopped up.
I love the story on
this
that.
This is like the coolest. This is the coolest bass that I've ever seen. And I brought it up to her. I was like, "Hey, how much money do you want for this?" She's like, "Well, this and this and this," and said something about $1,000, and that was just like a mind-blowing amount of money for me at that time. And I think we ended up trading. I had an amp, and Robby had a drum, and we traded for this bass. And they, Fanny's is great. Pam and Lee, they're amazing people, and they really helped us out. So I started playing that bass. It was it's a 72. It's a 4001. And it's right-handed, but the guy who owned it before me was a lefty, so he'd flipped it and cut the horn off to take some of the weight off, and cut the headstock, and restrung it, and
just Franken bass.
Yeah, and the strap is on the wrong spot, and so it's like whenever other people put this bass on, because it's strung under, and the strap is on the bottom horn, so it tries to flip forward instead of fall this way.
Yeah.
And so it's just a total circus.
When I first saw you guys at the Roxy and you walked on, immediately I go, he hadn't even played a note yet. I go, I love this band. I mean, I already loved the band. That's why I was there. But I was like, look at this garbage bass, man.
Yeah.
Well, you got a brand new one that is made to look exactly like that.
That's what I saw.
I have a new one. It's a Ness Custom. Our buddy Derek works at another music store in Nashville called Eastside Music Supply. I was like, man, I need to find somebody to make me another bass, because mine, there's no telling when it's going to just explode. And so I fought it for, however many years. And then finally he's like, hey, I traced your bass when you weren't looking, and I think I'm going to make you a copy.
Wow.
So he did. And it's awesome.
It could be your signature model.
It is. Yeah. There's only two in existence.
That's
I have them both.
Great. Now, you guys, it's funny because you were out with Primus all summer. Great tour.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the best tours I had seen in a long time.
Nice.
As far as the combination of bands, it was All Them Witches, Mastodon, and Primus. And what I liked about it the most was the fans were incredible.
Yeah.
Man, if you're at that tour, you like music. There's no part-timers in that goddamn audience.
Right.
There's no one going, wonder what this is going to be about. You know what I mean? If you're at that eclectic,
That was a weird, the strangest, I don't know, those three bands together, it's just strange. It's weird.
I loved it, though, because it's exactly what you want in a concert. Mm-hmm. All three totally different.
Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, to look at it on paper, you're thinking Mastodon and Primus, that's not going to work.
That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, those guys are going on tour together? What?
Yeah, except that everybody would peg Mastodon as being the heavy band of that bill, but Primus is honestly the heaviest band in the world. I've seen
insane.
Super loud, all of the stoner rock whatevers, and Primus is honestly the heaviest band of all time.
Yeah, and I know you guys were like me, where you're watching it multiple nights, and you just can't even wrap your head around how they write that music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've listened to it my entire life, and I have no idea.
I had Les on it. Les was one of the hardest interviews I ever had, because he's like, is that a question? He's really dry, and I love the guy, and I've known those guys for years, 30 years or something, 25 years. So, but I was like, dude, how do you? I mean, I played music for years, and you A, C, G, and the structure is verse, chorus, bridge, solo, And when you watch them, you're like, what? That just takes something that goes in the back of someone's mind to come up with shit like that.
Well, there's stuff I told Les. I was like, dude, Primus is faith in music, because if what they're doing can be that popular and last this long,
right?
That says something about being crazy.
Yeah, Les told me he was like, yeah, I used to have a bunch of lead singers and stuff, but they never did it exactly how I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And so I just started narrating for the band. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. You're the narrator of that band. And like, that's exactly what you are.
Yep, that's what he is.
Yeah,
he
has
is.
all of the backstory and everything, and he only gives the audience what he needs to give them as a narrator. And I really enjoy that about them.
How did you guys get this tour? And you had to be pretty fired up, right?
Les picks all the bands.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he picks every band that goes on tour with him.
Whoa.
Isn't that cool?
I love that. That's how I would do it. You know what I mean? You don't want a bunch of strangers out there. And also, if you've got this built-in draw, which they're doing Red Rocks and shit like that.
That was the first show.
That was our
dude.
First show.
I lost sleep over that for months.
Yeah.
And then the day came, and I was so nervous.
Stressful.
Dude. It was stressful.
Stressful for everybody.
Yeah, that whole tour for us was a little stressful because it was such like a big thing. Like we've never been on a tour.
We were
with
so green to go
buses and
on this
semis.
tour.
Yeah. Now, did you guys have your own bus, or were you traveling? How did that work? Because you don't
we
have
have a
any
van.
money, right? Yeah, you're in a van.
Yeah, we have a van. We're struggling to stay behind.
Right.
Like everyone else drives overnight. We don't get there. We're there last.
Yeah, because you got to sleep, and you
Yeah.
don't have a driver like the bands have a driver, and the band just gets on the bus and goes to sleep, and the driver drives.
Yeah, so we missed out on some late night stuff that comes along with being on a big tour like that, and that's sad. But we also had to keep up with the trailer or with the prevos, and so we'd have to leave like sometimes right after, like in the middle of the show, and
at least get a few hours
get a
on the
jump on
drive.
it just to
then-
be able to make it to the next one.
And then would you stay at a hotel in the middle of the drive, or just keep going and then sleep in the van?
Either both, all.
It depends. Yeah, we do
Yeah.
everything, whatever seems to make sense. We'll usually drive out after every show at least an hour.
Right.
Even today.
To like what, a cheap hotel or something?
Just to get out of city limits, make sure your stuff's safe.
Yeah.
You don't really want to stay in town, even if it's like a safe
Oh, it's
city.
crazy.
Like, everybody
Well,
can
dude,
see a
people's
band.
shit gets ripped off all the time.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're always
Yeah.
hearing stories about entire band rigs disappearing.
Absolutely.
South by Southwest, St. Louis.
I did it every night. We would stay in those motels that had the ground floor, and we'd just walk the gear into the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually we figured out, we saw another band, and they had a van, and in the back seat they took it out and they built a metal box, welded it all in there, and then put like a futon on top of it so you can sleep up there while a guy's driving. Dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
He'd put on the brakes, guy goes through the
Scary.
shield. But when you parked at a hotel, you couldn't see the gear, and even if you broke in, you wouldn't be able to get into the gear because it was in an actual metal box in the
that's
van.
so smart.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
because you
smart.
get a little lazy out there, and you get like, fuck it, I'm not bringing my gear in tonight. And like, do you guys just leave it in the trailer?
I can't say.
Yeah.
I couldn't
What?
say that over there.
Is that
I
a
have no
question?
idea. We bury it every night in an unmarked location.
Yeah.
Now we've got all kinds of tricks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do like to get out of town, and
We like to just stay aware.
Yeah.
We like to really be aware of
you don't
what's
have to be
happening. with the
paranoid.
band.
You have to
gotta
be.
aware-anoid.
Yeah.
We used to bring big ass dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did a tour with my dog Buck.
Really?
Rest his soul.
And he would just stay in the van?
Well, I mean, we would just
stay
leave
in
him
the
in
van
there,
too,
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was incredible. Like he got some situations cleared up for us, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The one show we were at, I think we were in Raleigh.
Yeah.
And
Slim's Raleigh.
while we were there, somebody got stabbed like right outside. There was this whole shady scene going on the whole time. And then this dude comes over and he's just staring at our shit. And I'm in the van, like blacked out windows. He can't see me, but he's scoping our stuff. We had Buck. He's like a 100-pound Mastiff. Get Buck out, and I just go stand next to this dude with the dog. And I look at him like, what are you doing? And he just left. Didn't see him the rest of the night. We're like,
Oh, that was
All
the
right.
night that those two guys were casing it. One guy paid to get in and was pointing out the stuff for
Yeah.
his buddy to snatch.
Oh,
yeah.
man. It's so brutal out there,
I
you
know.
know.
So
How many dates now? Were you guys, how long were you out with Primus? Because somebody else did part of it too.
that was, so I think that whole tour with Mastodon Primus was 9 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks, but we did 4.
Right.
Because
no,
we are,
It was 7 weeks, and we did.
well, they
a
were out
month.
for 2 months. We did a month. And then
Oh,
we
you're
had
saying
to-
their tour? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
And then we we had Europe booked already, and we couldn't cancel.
Yeah.
Not that we would, but so we went. It was kind of nice. We went from being first of 3 to being kings in Europe, which was
Kings
nice.
in Europe.
Is it-
Yeah, because
Are you guys big in Europe? Like pretty good?
Things are going really well over there.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. People are super enthusiastic, and just the whole scene with the promoters and the venues taking care of the artists is on a different level.
Really?
Totally different level.
I mean, they fully take care of you. You got showers, you got places to stay. They'll find places to stay for you. They'll take you out to dinner.
Yeah, laundry.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
it's
usually
it's
like
nice.
really amazing food, and a lot of places they'll have like somebody there that like volunteered to cook for you. Like, part of the staff. So
I wanted to get into this before we go on to the next thing, though. But so, how did Les hear about you guys?
I really don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was because their manager and our manager work for the same company, Red Light, and I think that's how it happened.
Rad.
And I heard that maybe they tried to get us to go out earlier, but I don't know. This is a hearsay.
I don't know either. Yeah,
I can't say for sure, but it was cool that it happened. Like,
I honestly didn't know until Troy from Mastodon came up and told me. He's like, "Do you know how we got on this tour?" And he was the one that told me. He's like, "Oh, Les picked out the bands and whatever." And but that's all I know.
Troy is so great, man.
They're all like super nice guys.
Yeah.
I wish I got to spend more time with
they're
them.
very well seasoned.
Oh,
how long have you guys been in a band? They're like
18 years.
18 years. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Now, how long you guys been a band? What is it, 6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're.
6 years.
I mean, we feel like we've been doing it for a long time, but we're just like babies.
Yeah.
6 years is nothing, but it takes a lot to make it to 6 years, as we're finding out.
Now, are you guys, I've never even looked into it, but from the first couple records to now, are you guys on a new label or a same label, or what's been going on with that?
We started, our first album came out from a German distribution label called Elektrahaus Schallplatten. Stefan from Color Haze runs that label, and we were the first American band he put on that label, and he just really gave us a chance. Ben was sending our record out to everybody. He's the only one that answered us back.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Yeah, I like your band. I'll put it out." And that was just like a big thing for us. And then we put out Lightning by ourselves. Mm-hmm. And then we signed to New West, and we've been on New West since.
I don't even know how I found out about you guys, but I'm sure it was somebody sent it over to me. Like, hey, check out this band. And I think I even put it off for a long time because of the name. I was like, oh, yeah, because I was like, I get a lot of people.
It's a terrible name. It really.
Well, I get a lot of people that they are kind of one-dimensional when it comes to me. Like, you could have, I've done over 400 episodes, and you can have like Nancy from Heart. Mm-hmm. You can have, some hip hop guy. Then you can have a guy that makes guitars and a dude that makes choppers. But for some reason, one guy will listen to the show and he's like, the only thing I heard was the Testament episode, in their mind. Like they'll listen to them all, but you're like, so if I get a music recommendation, I'll be like, oh no, here comes a, I thought that's what it was going to be. And then when I hear it, I go, oh, this is fucking great, man.
That's cool. Well, I don't know, the whole stoner rock thing still kind of cracks me up. I know where it's coming from. The first record definitely had some, and the second had some metal shit in it, but
there's parts from everything.
Yeah.
There's parts from everything. And I hate to feel like we're definitely not putting anybody down. Everybody's like allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But it's just
Of course.
like, we really just want to like pull from what we can and what's exciting to us.
My point is, it takes my certain, I love all different music. So if somebody sent me All Them Witches and I thought it was going to be like, whoa, I got to be in the right frame of mind.
To prepare for that.
Right. Because I usually open my emails in the morning. You know what I mean? Like I get up at 10. I'm not going to crack into like something that's called All Them Witches laying in bed reading some emails. So it took a little while. And then when I did hear it, I was like, oh, wow. And
what was the first one that you heard?
I'll tell you right now. I got it on the phone here.
Our band is
Lightning at the Door.
Oh, yeah, Lightning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mistakes in that one.
But that record to me, is that the second record?
Yeah, second.
Yeah, so that record to me, I was like, what the fuck? This band isn't. hold on, let me get the song titles here because this came out in 15, which is amazing. I love the title. Oh, Death of Coyote Woman was the, like what is this? And then I just loved it, man. It's just this whole record was just I was on and I turned my buddy on to it, who's a comedian here. And so I sent him this, and he was like, "Oh my God, these guys are great!" So we went live, and then my other buddy Benji was way into it, another comic. And like I said, I was just a big fan right away. It was like, wow, this is some great music. And I look at it too. I know how grueling it is to play music, and like we were saying, Primus, how they've built something. Of like when you're writing these records, there's no hit mentality. Like, let's get a hit. This is what we do. This is our art. And eventually you hope people start to get into it. And I was really seeing you guys winning over tons of people at the Primus show. You know, cool. That was really cool. People were like way into it, like listening to it,
I think we did, it was a good thing we did that tour for a lot of reasons. We really wanted to, and we've done 2 support tours now. So that was the second one.
Who was the other one?
We went out with The Sword.
Oh, The Sword.
It was The Sword, it was German band Cadaver.
Yep.
And it was us. So we were first of 3 on that, and that was cool. That did a lot of stuff for us, really got us out there. That was like our first real tour that was organized, and we got to see a tour manager work. And
What is that? That's a tour manager.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What's he do?
Yeah. Now you guys go out no roadies, right?
No roadies.
Yeah. So what are we looking at? We got no roadies and just a tour manager.
So we have a merch guy, and a tour manager / sound guy,
right?
And then the band, and that's it.
Now, do you pick the guy for the sound quality or his tour manager qualities?
Well, we got
Depends on the country.
Yeah. So we've got this dude Mello in Europe. If you're listening, Mello.
Philip de Mello.
He rules, man. He was recommended to us from a German promoter. He was like, "You got to check this dude out. You guys need this." The first Europe tour we did, we drove ourselves, which was fucking insane because it was a month, dude.
And you never been there?
Insane.
Never been there.
Wow.
We pick up the Sprinter van in London. So it's all backwards and it's a stick shift. So it's me and Alan drove that whole tour.
Wow.
And no tour manager or anything. It was fucking chaos.
Most of the shows were in Europe though, so we were driving the right-hand drive. Us on the right side of the road, and having to account for that, and just driving ourselves
because you got the van. You got the van in London, but then you get outside and it's on the other way. Oh my God, that's fucking.
All of our shows were sold out. Almost all of our shows.
Really?
And that was our first time to Europe, and we were driving ourselves. We had no idea. We were sleeping in the van, like freezing the whole time.
It was miserable.
And like the shows would happen, it'd be this insane explosion of people and activity and stuff, and then we'd get out and be like.
Fuck, we gotta sleep.
We're gonna sleep in this cold-ass Sprinter. I guess we're just gonna drive somewhere. We connected with another Sprinter on some German back road, trying to connected mirrors, and it exploded. So then it took 2 guys to drive the van. One guy to lean way up into the dashboard and look in this mirror we had taped up, and make sure there weren't any tiny lights so we could merge.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so we got a tour manager after that.
Yeah, we definitely did.
And luckily he's an incredible tour manager. He's also really good at sound.
Yeah.
He takes care of everything.
And the States, we don't really need a tour manager.
Nah, you know where the fuck you're going.
Yeah, so you just
go
need a
give me
good
the
sound
money.
guy. You need a guy that's going to deal with all this stuff and not put it on you. Like, I don't want to go track down the light guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you really just need a good sound guy for the States.
It'd be nice to have a light guy, too, because, man, sometimes.
Especially with your music, Some lighting cues is really cool with your type of music and the mood,
For sure.
Now, are you guys, I like to ask people this, but are you guys working jobs when you're home? Because this is the modern day of rock and roll.
This year, no.
No, really?
We all have been working jobs. I think last year was the first year that really didn't have to, which was cool.
I haven't worked a job in 3 years.
Well, you're the singer. You
Yeah, I
make
don't-
more money than us.
That's not, that's not
I
true.
know. I know.
It's so not true.
I know it's a joke.
When I got paid less than you guys.
Yeah, somehow.
Oh, a little money here.
Somehow our accountant really fucked up our individual tax things. I don't think that's been dealt with, but the money was the same because Ben paid everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you guys do the money? You split it all, or is it from songwriting that way?
We just do it as we're equal partners.
Yeah.
In an LLC.
Even as the songwriting and everything?
I think that it's worked out somehow where the percentages are different songwriting wise for like the back end. But as far as like going and playing shows, we split it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like royalties and stuff, I think it's a different way.
Now, what about rent in Nashville? Is it pretty crazy? I heard it's getting crazy out there.
It's crazy. I actually just moved an hour outside of Nashville. Parks found a church on Craigslist.
What?
So I
oh,
moved-
yeah, wait, you were talking about that.
Yeah, so I moved into a church. It's like a commercial live space. It's fucking awesome.
And there's other people living there?
No, it's just me.
Whoa, the whole church.
Well, it's not that big.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
big enough. It's 1,500 square feet.
Whoa.
So we're practicing there.
It wouldn't be
and,
good for two people because it's
nah.
a big open room.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Just, you just
Yeah.
live with your buddy in a
Yeah.
big
Wow.
prison.
So you guys rehearse in there and then you stay there? That's great.
Yep, we're like
Robby,
a
like,
band again.
Prints like amazing like photographs and archival prints and stuff on this gigantic
Yeah, it's-
weird printer.
It's my personal play factory with all my hobbies.
That's great. Now,
Yeah.
what something like that would rent for out there?
I'm paying $900 a month.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it would in Nashville. I think it would be like over 3,000, probably like 4. I don't know.
Wow, 900 though. How great is that?
It's
so you can play
amazing.
rock and roll, man. And
Yeah.
you know, like I played rock and roll for years, and I look at I think, how the fuck did I do it? And then I was like, oh well, I never paid more than 1,000 for rent. Even, you know, it would be like, I remember one time I lived for years in a place, it was $450. And then it was $650 for me and another buddy, and then I got my own place, and it was 1,000. But you look at it and you go, "Oh, well, that's how I did it," because you can hustle 900 somehow every month.
Yeah, for sure.
And everything else just comes. The food, whatever. That stuff just comes, Isn't it wild?
Yeah.
Now, where do you live in Nashville?
I actually live like 40 minutes outside of Asheville.
Right.
Asheville, North Carolina. So I live in the mountains.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my house it's great. It's like in the country. There's nothing around. It's just cow fields. And my house is literally in the middle of a 4-acre circle of nothing.
What made you go out there? Just peace of mind? Are you like a hippie now? Well, that's not like you know what I mean?
No, this is
'Cause
funny. Are you like a hippie?
well, because I go back and forth through the juxtapose of like, all right, New York City's where it's at, man. It's just crazy.
I've never had that thought. No, there's no way I would ever live in New York City.
Well, I was born in Yosemite, and
shit.
so I basically hippie in my blood. So I can easily get there and be like, oh yeah, I'm here for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I got to really watch out what I do, or else I could just creep down that, like, this is it. Peace and quiet, a dog, no one around.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was
a good
looking for,
feeling.
man.
Yeah.
And by the time I was living in Nashville and like trying to get out, I was living in my truck. I couldn't afford a place. Like what you were saying, like there were no more places that I could afford. There was nobody else to squat with. And I was just living in the back of my truck because we were on tour all the time.
Right.
And just sleep at the Walmart parking lot or like on the street or in my buddy's backyard or whatever. I think I did a couple months where I was just sleeping in backyards, like on the ground of my friend's house.
Really?
Yeah.
Backyards.
Yeah, just, out
With a
around.
record deal. I love that. I always like to let people know that.
Yeah.
Because I love to hear stories like that, because people are like, they go like, yeah, I ain't doing that. Like that whole mentality of like, you need to do what you got to do.
Yeah, sleep in a truck,
Yeah, you
sleep in a
got-
graveyard,
Yeah.
sleep in the park.
It's not
Yeah.
easy to do what you want, but it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Like when I sleep on couches in New York, people are like, well, where are you staying at? I'm like, wherever, I got that backpack right there. I'm like, wherever I land tonight, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, hotels tonight. Maybe I get lucky. That's like a slot machine.
Yeah.
I open the app and I go, $68. win.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
okay.
Every night, that's what we do. Like we're like,
we
if
roll
we
the
can,
dice.
$70 is what we're going for. A $70
Hotels tonight? You use that app?
No, we're tonight we're staying with Ben's family, but
I'm saying
when we're on the road,
you ever
we're
use
on
that
the app. Whatever that, what is it?
Priceline.
Oh, yeah.
Priceline.
You got to get into hotels tonight. It's even better.
That's an app name?
Yeah, yep. I'll turn you on to it.
Yeah.
But I was the same way for years. It worked like this. 4-piece band. Each guy got $10 a day to eat on. And we would eat at Taco Bell every day because you could eat like a king there.
If you spend $10 at Taco Bell, you can't finish it.
Right, yeah. Especially, 10, 15 years ago. Now, but back then you could get a couple bean cheese burritos, a drink, a quesadilla. I wouldn't spend it all in one stop. It'd be one, and then later that night again, and then 2 Motel 6s, sleep, share the rooms, and those were always like, 60, 55. When you get out there on the highway and no one around, you can get them for like $50.
Oh, yeah.
And you start to learn who you are on something like that. It's definitely a survival game, but and each night when you play that gig, you're like, you don't even think about all that other shit.
It doesn't matter. Like you sleep and you wake up. You know, and that's it. It's like where you sleep when you're a young band. Like doesn't matter. Like you sleep in some of the most disgusting houses and whatever, and it's great.
Just wake up in total trash and some
trash
stranger's
mountain.
front room. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Thanks.
What do you guys have coming up now? The record's out. The new record is out, and this will be out in a few weeks, so we don't need to promote Desert Days. But do you have another tour now for the winter?
Starting October
Halloween.
31st.
Yeah.
Halloween in Birmingham. Start a tour. We have a month-long tour, and we're going West Coast.
Oh, that's right. I saw that because you're going to be here at the Roxy, right?
No,
where you playing?
Echoplex.
Oh, Echoplex.
Right.
Great room. Yeah, November, right?
November 9th.
Yeah, that's right. I got it in my phone.
And then, so we do that. Then we have 2 shows in Nashville. We're playing the Exit Inn 2 nights in a row. Oh. December 28th.
You guys draw good there?
Yeah, we sold it out last year. It's
pretty good.
Cool.
That's great.
And what else? Then we've got a full Europe tour booked in May, and then an full East Coast up into Canada in March, I believe. So,
wow.
Yeah, we've got a lot of shows.
Next year's booking up pretty fast.
Yeah, next
which is
year's
so
gonna
weird
be
as a
intense.
musician, and you see like your whole year just like, oh, okay, here's 6 months I'm going to be on tour.
Yeah. Like any festivals next year and stuff like that? You already seeing that?
I'm sure there is. I don't know.
Yeah, we're working.
Have
on
you guys
some.
done Coachella?
No.
Yeah.
We haven't done very many U.S. festivals for some reason. We played Bonnaroo once, and we played a few other ones that year.
Summer camp. Was summer camp that year?
Yeah, that was a horrible show.
Have you ever heard of that? That's like a hippie festival.
Oh, yeah?
Super hippie festival.
Dude,
Summer camp? I haven't heard of that
It's
one.
in Illinois.
Oh, wow.
It's like Mo and...
Oh, Mo. Anything with Mo, I say no.
Yeah. It's like...
I'm not clowning on him, but, a lot of people are like, what they miss, and this is what I always tell people, and it also comes back to your band again. If everybody just listened to every stoner rock band, after a while you go, look, I need some tunes. I understand the flavor and the style, but where are the tunes? And that's how I look at that whole jam scene, The Dead, if they didn't jam, they have some of the best music going. The
Their
songs, the
are awesome.
lyrics, oh my God. Yeah. And then people try to throw all these other bands in there like, well, if you love The Dead, you're going to love Fish and Mo and Blind Boys and Hacky Sacks. And you're like, no, dude, these aren't the same.
Right, it's not the
This
same.
is just an excuse to take acid and go out with frat guys and hang out and watch, all right, college kind of fratty thing. And then The Dead is pure art. Pure fucking art, man. It's just, and look, that's just my point of view.
Well, we share that.
I mean, you know what I mean? I'm like, people go, you know what the fuck you're talking about? And that's why I love music, because everybody has a different point of view on music. And that's really what I love about music. It's so like, and then when you come together with buddies on a band like I have with you guys, with Benji and my other buddy, Jason Galern, when we come together and we're at the store and we're like, oh, them witches, man, they fucking, you're not listening to that band? What are you, an idiot, man?
What are you, a fucking idiot?
Well, you just look at people like, dude, I told you about this band 4 times. Like, oh yeah, I got to check it out, And then like a year later, they go, dude, that band's great. And you're like, yeah, man, I told you a year ago.
Everybody's on their own schedule. It's hard to.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to turn people onto anything.
Yeah, it really is.
Everything is. So
the ADD
saturated.
world too.
Yeah.
And your band's not one you just fire up and go, oh yeah, I get it. You need to sit back and take the
That's how
ride.
I like
about
that.
it.
I always like it when people say it's like, well, I wasn't sure at first, and it took me a couple of listens.
That's
and
what
now
I
I really
love.
like it. It's like, yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, it's like when I
gonna
heard
be
the
like
Dead.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I like the Dead. It's like it's not gonna just burn out after a few listens.
I love your band, man, and I'm glad I had you guys on the show.
Dude, we're super glad you have us.
It's so cool, and I know that you're a fan of the show because you listen to it and stuff, and we text back and forth a lot, and I just love you guys, and I love what you're doing, and I know how brutal it is out there, so it's great to have people that are in good spirits and making incredible art out there that inspires me more than most bands know. Now I like not playing music anymore. People are like, yeah, don't you miss it? No, I love now being a fan of it and being on the outside of it and taking that inspiration into my comedy, and definitely I look at you guys for some inspiration. That whole tour was mind-boggling this summer to me. It put smiles on my face. I went always by myself because I didn't want to have to explain this thing to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here with these bands? Like, if you take somebody that's not, you don't know what's up, and they're seeing All Them Witches, Mastodon, and Primus, it might be a little much.
If you have to give a disclaimer, maybe you should just leave them at home.
Yep, that's what I do, and I just go.
That tour brought us here.
Yeah.
Because we met on that tour officially. So
that's great. You guys gonna see? You guys want to go eat?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go eat.
But you got to see this email.
Oh yeah, let's hear the email. Here we go.
Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
Okay, I'm so glad we didn't forget, because people would be emailing me like, hey, you never got back to that email.
Dude, we get weird stuff like this often.
Okay, so all 3 of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's from the same dude.
I wish I could learn spells as powerful as a witch for damn sexual spells on the way this guy writes. Is this guy a robot? I'm going to read it in a robot. I wish I could learn spells in a powerful as witch before damn. Anyway, the next part he says, I wish there were someone. Your screen's all cracked, by the way. Total musician screen.
Shit.
I wish there was someone I could feel and see. Oh, some way. I wish there was some way I could feel and see the power of their witches, or play tonight with a
Succubus?
succubus. Please help me. I want to experiment with more than one hell on the witchcraft. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't even know what any of that means.
Our name inspires some weird shit, apparently. And
we get a lot of emails or like comments from like Africa, because like witchcraft is such a damnable offense there, and so a lot of them is like, turn back from witchcraft, this and this and this from the Bible. I'm just like, okay,
Wow.
But you meet a lot of weird people who think that they know who you are because of your name. Like I met this huge guy in Germany. He was like one of the tallest guys I've ever seen, and super pale and creepy.
Yeah.
And he waited in line with to come up to the merch table, and he came up. He says, Michael, that's my name.
Yeah.
Michael, when was the first time you met Satan? And I was just like, what? Dude, you got me all wrong. And he looked confused, like he had me pegged. And he had all this stuff he wanted to talk to me about. And then as soon as I was like, I'm not a Satanist.
Yeah, he was like, he's
like,
fucking so mad.
Oh, man, he was just like distraught.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I thought we were going to talk hours about Lucifer and the black church.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's like how I look, you know? Like, I look like this, like, crazy biker, and people will come
Bad
up.
boy for life, dude.
People come up like, you know, they want to like talk racist shit around you or whatever. When you're in the South, you're like, hey, dude, get the fuck out of here. And they're so bummed, you know, that you're not going to be racist with them.
When a racist wants to hang out and do racist shit, and you're just like, you picked the wrong guy.
It's like, the wrong guy. I guess you didn't hear my jokes at all. Those are anti-homophobic, anti-racist everything in there, you know. It's just goes
not
back
reading
to
the situation right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing the new tour with the new record. Like I said, there's some great stuff on there. That one song has definitely got a killer no quarter flavor that just made me really happy because I'm a Zeppelin freak. I sent it to my buddy Devin. He's like, oh, yeah, man, no quarter. Fire up the bomb.
It's that rotary sound.
Oh, yeah.
That song's about my dreams.
Oh, yeah, I love the title. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody, to another episode of Let There Be Talk. Follow All Them Witches on Instagram, right? You guys have an Instagram?
All Them Witches Band.
And Twitter, you guys do that much?
All Them Witches.
Yep. And
Do you do the Twitter? Who does the Twitter?
I do all that shit, but I do it poorly because apparently there's a strategy, and all I do is post pictures.
Yeah, that's what it's about, dude.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and please pick up their music and hit them up and tell them you heard them on this show. I think you're going to love this band. I always pride myself on trying to break bands, and over the years, I've just fell in love with like music again. Rival Sons, Marcus King right now has got a great record
I just
out.
started checking that out because of you.
Man, check that shit out, and all kinds of good music out there. I laugh when people are just like, hey, can you recommend any bands? I'm like, do you got an hour? You know what I mean?
What's your
So
email?
check them out and start anywhere. People always say, where should I start? What's your favorite record from the collection?
Not the first one.
Not the first one.
Right now it's the new one.
Yeah.
You know, I like a lot of stuff off of what I don't even remember what our stuff is called. Sleeping. I like a couple of those songs off of Sleeping a lot. But the new record for sure.
Yeah, the new record's cool, man.
Yeah.
Big time. And great artwork.
Yeah, Robby does that.
Oh, you did that, Robert?
Yeah, Robby does all of the artwork.
Oh, that's fucking amazing,
I'll
dude.
mail you a box of shirts I made.
Yeah, great shit, dude.
Thanks.
Wow. Right on, man.
Surprise.
All right, let's go get some food.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks
Cool.
for tuning in,
Thanks,
guys.
Dean.
See you later.
See you, dude.